Welcome to Seat Time, everybody, the off-road show that brings you all the results, news, and online shenanigans that make being online a good time. We'd like to say thank you to Fly Racing for their support of Seat Time. Please go check them out at flyracing.com. Welcome to Seat Time, everybody. Brian Pierce here, your host for this fine evening, the last Tuesday evening of 2014. I think that's pretty impressive, don't you, Dillon?
It's been a long one.
It has?
Definitely
Has it been any longer than any other year you've been in?
Probably this one, yeah.
Yeah?
I think so. It's been a crazy year for everyone, I think.
The leap years are the longer years, right? You're still in school. You would know something like that.
Yep. Well, I'm out of school now at 20. I'm just getting back into it.
So what you're saying is you're unfortunately at the same level I am?
As a lot of people are, yes.
Oh, my God. The world is going to go downhill quickly. So for those of you who have no idea what you've tuned into, this is Seat Time. We are the online show for the Offroad Enthusiast. If you enjoy anything about dirt bikes, maybe anything about just going outside and having a good time, and possibly at some point in time, obviously not dangerously, enjoying a pint full of awesome and having a good time with some adult beverages, he can't because he's only 20, then you have turned into the right show, and we really, really appreciate you for tuning in. If you're not live, which that's okay if you're not, remember, you guys can catch this archived on the site. You can catch it archived on YouTube, archived on iTunes, or archived on Stitcher. iTunes and Stitcher, obviously audio only. The other ones do include the video, so that way you can make fun of our fabulous faces for much longer than need be. And you're probably going to be doing that for a while this time because our guests this evening are us. I think we're going to have to come up with, not pseudonyms, but like a bipolar friend for during the show so that we can just kind of like become someone else.
Yeah. Just like inside each other, just like Casper sitting in the back.
Yeah, our third crew member, if you will. We'll see how that goes. So Seat Time brought to you guys by the fine folks over at Fly Racing. So you can find out more about them at flyracing.com. They do have the new Fly Racing boot that is apparently coming out, but that they are embargoed on and cannot talk about. So we unfortunately have zero information on that.
That's right.
We'll see. Maybe what they're waiting for is A1, and maybe Trey Kennard and Andrew Short and some of their other fly guys will be wearing them.
Right, maybe. I wonder who they're getting under by. Garnet, maybe putting this, or are they actually making it themselves?
And I don't even know. Yeah, I mean,
that's important.
Not that I feel like I'm in the know by any means. It's just that's a great question. Are they? Fly Racing for a long time has had interesting, I guess, quality issues, but then the past 6-7 years they've really started to figure those out. Quality's gotten a lot better. Yep. And so, where have they kind of come out in the boot segment, because they've never really had a high-end boot.
Right, and there's like a couple main guys that run the boot area, so it's really hard to get into that with a great solid boot, to get into that and push through it, and just make a name for yourself out there.
Yeah, and Fox has done it. I think Fox is one of the ones, and it's better for a gear company if they can do that. Right. Because then you can dress your rider head to toe. And obviously we know Fly Racing, they have great helmets. Yes. That's one of their F2 carbon helmets are actually, I think, one of their best sellers. Oh, yeah, the
Kennard replicas are huge out there. I ran them a long time, and they're super light, super fitting, and I know I've hit my head tons of time and tested them to the max, and they work.
Yeah, we're super intelligent and super fast, so we really appreciate the fact that you guys take the time to listen. It's like all over the place. So yeah, we'll be excited to see that, because we're probably going to see some. I hope we see some new colorways. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A1 this coming up weekend. If the boot would be wicked. If we could see that, I would be super excited about that, because the only picture floating around is the one of Jason Thomas wearing that boot. Where he was racing in Finland, I think, or Sweden.
Yeah, way over there, but it hasn't even been released into the United States yet. That's just over in the European countries.
Jerks.
Yeah.
Jerks.
They get everything first.
Testing it out over there.
Yeah.
So, of course, Stillwell Performance, for those of you guys who think, oh, man, I don't really get suspension. I know I might need something. Especially if you're in the off-road market, when you can ride a lot of different types of terrain when it comes to different types of routes, different types of rocks. You're going to have hard pack, soft pack. There's a plethora of different terrain that you could ride on. You want to make sure that you have good suspension underneath you for that. What I say is you don't have to just go buy suspension tuning from Stillwell. What you need to do is you need to get on their website and use their contact form and just start asking them questions. What they're going to tell you is they're going to tell you information that's going to blow your mind. And if you don't really understand, go watch the segment on the CS4 forks with the KTM forks, because that was an enlightening experience listening to Alan talk about those.
Oh my gosh, yes, that is a huge that canister and everything, they got a huge technology going through that fork and just run. I run them this year and stuff, and it's just the variety of ways you can mix it and change it, and it's a really personal fork that you can really change to any standard of racing you want to be in.
So do you, and if you do, you don't have to mention them, but do you have someone who does your suspension for you?
I go through Enzo suspension, Craig Decker, and just their stock setting that you get off the factory floor is great for every rider. I believe it's a fantastic just right out of the gate, ready to go ride, race ready as their motto is, and I think the fork really represents that. I just have a few tune-ups, just like putting lighter springs in it like that, revalving it
because of all your muscles.
Yeah, or the lack of, because I don't weigh that much.
Welcome to the club,
buddy. So I have Craig go through that and really help with me on getting the fork to my personal setting. But for every rider out there, the average Joe and stuff like that, just a few clicks on the top, man, you're ready to go.
Awesome. And so if Dillon was just like talking about his suspension and was like, man, I really need some help with that, I'd be like, Stillwell Performance, bro. Stillwell Performance. So go check them out, stillwellperformance.com. And then Fast Company. If you guys have never tried a pair of flex bars, it's not, I promise you, just like people are like, man, we're closer for old people. No, it is a technical tool that can help you not just ride better, but ride longer. That's like saying this is an extra thick condom. It's protective, and it'll make you last longer. Dude, no brainer. Get in there and enjoy that shit for an hour or two and have a good time. Seriously. It helps with the hands so much. And if you guys have even watched the Big Buck Arrive and Ride video that Steven and I did when we went there back in April, what did I do? I bitched about my hands because I'm a baby. What did I not have? I didn't have my flex bars. I was so used to my flex bars. When I got out to my first GNCC and did 2 hours without a pair of flex bars, my hands just shit the bed on me. And it wasn't just a ton of blisters. It was like even the muscles, like just the fact of like trying to hold on.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
so,
I mean, hands are such a huge part of racing, and just little problems
the nut
and
to
everything.
the bolt or the nut to the bike.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
There's some slogan in there.
Yeah,
some smarter person than me came
like
up with.
Dad told me, if you don't have hands, man, you don't have the bike. Like that is your huge connection to the bike.
If you don't have hands, you don't have the bike.
Yeah.
There's something in there.
Yeah. That can go a lot of ways there.
There's some intelligence in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I know it. So definitely go check those guys out at fastco.com and definitely learn more about their flex bars. I think you guys would be very impressed with how much they help, especially off-road. We've got so many different obstacles that we can run into and change things up. So good stuff there. 2014, we kind of touched on it a little bit. It's been an interesting year. We've seen a lot of injuries in the industry. We've seen a lot of team swapping going on, and kind of the silly season has just started to wrap up, and everybody's kind of formulated their teams, I guess. Like everybody kind of knows where they're going to be for next year, and if they haven't said it, at least they probably know where it's at. They're just waiting until after the 31st, when apparently
you can talk about it.
Very, very serious about that kind of stuff.
People are sponsors, man. So,
it's interesting. So there was the KR4 announcement, and there were 2 team members that were announced on KR4, and then apparently one of them had contracts signed with sponsors that they will not have for 2015 that were very upset because 2 weeks before that contract was up, they're out there not being part of that contract.
Man, you got something written on paper. You're going to hold it to that standard.
Just because you're going to go spend all that time with your family and all that time New Year's doing whatever you do, putting fireworks wherever they go, you better pretend to still be on our team.
Better wear our shirts proudly still, buddy.
So there's always that. If you don't have hands, you're last. We could change it to that. You think your dad would be okay with that?
I like that guy. Whoever he knows what he's talking about. That guy's had hand problems before.
Oh, we got look, I make some parts that go in Enzo. They work with Wilkie at MX Tech.
That's right. There you go. Yeah.
So, that's one of our fabricator friends, Dustin Malacote, there in the chat room.
All right.
So thank you about the pictures. I guess you got a chance to see those on Facebook. Definitely would like everybody's opinions about those. Now, you don't need to troll the shit out of them and be a bunch of dickheads. But if you have a legitimate dislike, or whatever, and not, dude, she's so hot, because believe me, I know you're not going to tell me anything I don't understand, and she's my sister-in-law. No, that doesn't make it awkward. She's still an attractive female. I mean, that never changes because of the fact, I guess I'm honest enough in my manhood to know that it's like that is an attractive female.
Hey, I'll tell you
Period.
straight up, just
End of
man to man,
state.
I was like, good job, Brian.
You're
But
like-
then when I found out how close she was, I was like, don't tell him, don't say anything.
Like, high five. Then she's oh wait, she's your sister. That's no. Somebody today was like, man, I really like those pictures. We were driving to lunch or whatever. Really like those pictures you took. She's hot. I was like, I know, she's my sister-in-law.
Brr.
I didn't mean for it to be that.
Yeah.
It totally was the way it came out. But
It was just a comment from you,
for
just
me, it
like,
was 'cause I don't-
FYI.
Yeah, I don't. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, no. Oh yeah, no, not believe me. No, not
Yeah,
at all.
we gave-
She is hot.
And we gave Austin's girlfriend crap.
Austin Potter.
No, Austin Henderson's.
Oh,
Gosh, that was funny.
that was from a while ago.
A
right?
while ago, yeah, but
the pictures 2012.
I think so. Around then, yeah, on the bike with her and
And Brittany.
yeah, Brittany. Yeah, we gave Austin's girlfriend so much crap.
I think Steven, we need to remember that if you don't have hands, you're last. Sounds like a show title.
Sounds like he watches Ricky Bobby to me.
Sounds like Talladega Nights is
Yeah.
probably on in the background. Speaking of on in the background,
Trademark
I noticed
right there.
going through Instagram, Ryan Sipes is watching Winners Take All this evening.
Oh, is he really?
Yes.
Wow.
So that may need to come out of the closet as well and be watched again soon.
Yeah, we probably do need to get on that.
Winners Take All is a great movie, and the bike that I raced in Baja definitely felt like the bike that I finished Baja on. I guess I should say it definitely felt like it had been pieced together
At the end or at the beginning?
at the end.
Oh, yeah.
the last day.
Yeah, it was like, get off me. I'm done.
Oh, so my 450 blew up on the second day of the Baja Rally, and so on the third day I didn't race, but on the fourth day I rode my dad's 1986 Suzuki 200.
How'd your butt
the
feel?
Dual Sport. I mean, it's still sore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still feeling
months,
that? Yeah.
months later, my knees are sore, butt sore, and that was just from the dirt bike riding. Everything else that I've done in my life has made it even worse.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez
It's
Louise.
awkward for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, Dylan, let's talk a little bit about you. I like when Jordan's been on a couple times. We've had a chance to kind of converse and just kind of talk about what's been going on in life. So, in that sense, what's been going on in life?
Life. Well, I do compete in the Torn, TCRA, and Toro races and in the Texas Series.
Local
and
here in Texas, that's
yes,
correct.
sir.
Yeah, you guys will hear us. We've talked a good bit about TCCRA and Toro, but honestly, we don't get to talk about Torn too much. So,
Texas
is
Off-Road
that a little bit more?
National.
That's a little bit more south. Is that correct?
Yes, it's well, everything's based 100-mile radius around the promoter's house and stuff like that.
Okay.
So Curtis and stuff, he lives in Arlington, so it kind of beats around. It actually it can get a little bit more south, but it actually beats around where TCRA and Toro hit a lot too, just around, as sometimes at the same area, sometimes close by to other areas. And
Right.
so
That's the way to do the series. It's not over the Metroplex. It's my house.
yeah. Right, exactly. Yep.
My house.
Yeah. Yeah. So Caleb won that series.
Caleb
and
Ramsey won.
Caleb Ramsey won it.
Nice.
I got second in it.
Ooh.
Yep. And so that was pretty good to come second in the pros, my first pro season in there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then
I've never done that. I mean, I never thought I could either, but I've never done it. So.
Exactly. And I didn't think I would get it then either. And then came up third, came up a little too close, or a little short from Caleb and Cameron, both getting first, second TCRA. So I wrapped up third in that one.
Nice.
And then Toro coming in, and I thought I was coming in hot and stuff, and came to an enduro and just wadded up.
Wadded your shit.
100 yards
I think
in.
as the kids say these days.
And,
yeah, I heard about this. So tell us.
Well, you just talk to Jordan Bailey. She was right behind me, man. I mean, Cooper, the whole family, really. Cooper Bailey, Jordan
all the
Bailey,
Baileys?
all the Baileys, and I was like, man, I am a pro, I promise. Like,
You're like,
yeah, just
today was my squib day, man.
yeah, just first test, came off the line and go down a little hill and hop a little double that I was going to do, and false neutral doesn't give you the power you need, and I found that out quick. So I went over the bars, got the shoulder, and I had an MRI, and it's possible AC separation. So we got a shoulder doctor on Friday. We got to go to.
So you had an MRI done by like a non-specialist, and now you're gonna go to a specialist to like kind of verify. Or
Yeah, the MRI was just an overview if I did do any crazy damage to it. But the specialist now is seeing an AC problem and really bad stresses put on in spots that shouldn't be stressed on. So he wants to take a little bit more inside look to it.
I wish that somebody would have noticed my AC joint 4 years ago now at this point. I went 3 years with a separated shoulder.
Gosh.
And didn't even know it.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So.
Shoulders are a huge part in racing.
I know.
Like all limbs are, but shoulders and arms, they take a large brute force of the bike. So, but I did this year switch to Husqvarna, and but haven't had a lot of chances to ride it. I've only had 3 races, I think, completed on it.
Right.
So I think it's got like 8 hours on it.
Hey, you guys, the Greens, when I say you guys, the whole family races from Mom, Dad, and
Dalton.
And Dalton. He's going to be riding something else, though, next year in England or Europe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. We told him that. Don't bring home one of them.
Yeah. Or just don't bring home part of them.
Yeah.
Anything you don't want to
No, we said don't be married. You got to come home.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you never. I mean, if it's the love of his life, though, it's okay.
A lot happens in a year. You'd be surprised.
A lot happens in a year. You can catch a lot in a year too.
What? Oh man. Heard like, Europe's a little dirtier over there.
Bro.
Yeah.
It's my brother.
It's my
bro.
sister, man. Come on.
It's my sister-in-law. I don't care at all.
Oh, right. It's not complete there.
It doesn't matter. Dude, it's my sister-in-law. That's another good one. We got all kinds of fun titles already in the first 15 minutes here. But yeah, no. So Husqvarna, you guys have ridden a lot of different bikes though. You guys were kind of like non-KTM. You guys were riding like everything but, and then all of a sudden the whole family, what 2-3 years ago, went like all KTM, right?
Yes, sir. Actually, my first bike was a PW50. Then I went to a Honda 50. Then I went to Polini. Then Kawasaki. Most of the years KX65, 85.
Was that because of your dad? Wasn't he because he was a flat track racer?
Yeah,
right?
he was actually a Honda. He was
a Honda. Okay,
Honda factory Honda when he was over in Europe and stuff. Lived over there for a long time.
So your dad is going to be able to give Dalton tons of pointers.
Oh yeah. He knows everywhere around there.
Like,
trust me.
He's like, I remember
daily.
These areas used to be the party areas.
And don't go here.
Yeah, don't pay these chicks when they say these keywords. She's asking you for money for sex. You don't want that.
This strip club way higher up. Don't go to this cheap one. Exactly. So so dad is usually on the best bikes that are around. We're not really brand specific, but like you said, 2-3 years ago, man, we Action Motorsports Craig Martin came to us and said, hey, I have let's try to get something happening here, and I hooked on to it on 250 XCs, and ever since, man, I don't want to drop it. I mean, fantastic bikes, great bikes. Well, Husqvarna coming from originating kind of from the same group of people, I know they're going to be fantastic bikes. They are fantastic bikes, and just can't wait to get more of a handle on things and more of a better series going, or a better year going on. Yeah.
And now before I forget, because I'm all out there, we're gonna talk. Remind me when I get done. We're gonna talk more about Huskies.
Yes, sir.
But I do have to say, this will be we could pass this on to Dalton. Hopefully he's watching, and if he's not, we'll have to pass this on to him.
I sent the link to him. He will be.
So if he is, I do have to say, when I went to Germany in 2012 for the ISDE, I met up with the Australians, Team Australia, and Jason Hooper, so like Josh Strang, Daniel Dillon, all those guys and stuff, and they were like, let's go to the strip club. Okay. Oh no, the dance club. It's all they just call them dance clubs over there.
Same thing.
But I ask, I'm like, dude, I don't dance, man. I'm just gonna go drink. Like, oh no, not that kind of dance club, like ladies dance. I was like, oh,
you do sit and drink.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm okay with that. Then and we walk in though, right in the door, and the mistress or the person, it's the mademoiselle or whatever, the person who kind of like runs the door and make sure that savvy people are in, and not so savvy people are not in.
So you got in?
I know. She literally, right when she opens the door, she goes, sex upstairs, dance downstairs. And that's when I was like, oh shit, we're in a brothel. I was like, prostitution is legal. I was just kind of like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
This is Germany.
So I was like, okay, so there it is. So that'll be a new experience for your brother.
Yeah. Don't send me pictures, please.
Send me pictures, Dalton.
No photos.
Send me pictures.
Oh, getting off task here.
Oh, well, to stay a little bit on task, we'll get back to the Husky thing. I actually remembered in a second. So our good friend Dale Spangler either is paying attention or is just such a good friend that he knows that it's 8:20 on a Tuesday night, so he's given us some fly PSAs. Said Fly Racing has a powerhouse off-road team for 2015. Returning will be GNCC XC1 rider Chris Bach for Team JCR. That answers a lot of questions. There's at least some form of official statement that JCR will be racing GNCCs.
Honda's still making an appearance out there.
So
man.
That's good to see because we didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, obviously with Thad Duvall going to Husqvarna with the KR4 team. And then Colton Haker going to Husqvarna as a support rider and still a rockstar athlete in Endurocross. We're like, well, what is JCR going to do? What's Honda doing?
Baja, yeah.
So at least we know there's a little bit of that there. So back and fly after a couple years hiatus is going to be Stu Baylor, and the new team is XC1 race winner Thad Duvall riding for KR4.
Yeah.
There we go. We got Thad Duvall too going to be in fly race.
Yep, he did drop Honda, but kept fly, yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then XC2 Fly has a stacked field. Obviously, you can tell he writes a lot of press releases. This is a stacked field with Trevor Bollinger, Ricky Russell, Nick Davis, and Jesse Grome all vying for the 2015 title. That's interesting. I did not know that about Jesse Grome. Jesse Grome last year was riding Climb.
That's right. Yeah, he was.
Shane Watts' team, but isn't Jesse Grome still with Shane Watts?
I believe so. He is. I don't think he's made a statement that he's going anywhere else. So I just think
does that mean that the team is no longer sponsored by Climb, or are they just allowing them to do?
He's emailing you, man.
We're figuring it out, right? We're making it happen.
I mean, but
if
I agree with.
Maybe he'll give us.
Well, I agree with his team, man. Those are heavy hitters, man. I mean, Trevor Bollinger going to Baylor's team now, the new team that he's making and stuff. Yep. I mean, he's and also be on the trophy team. For the
junior trophy team, right?
Yeah, winning it and everything, and then you got Ricky Russell, a huge XC1 contender out there.
I get it that Ricky Russell's going to be riding the XC2 again. He had such a great competitive year.
That's right.
He looked like he was. He looked like he was right on the verge of figuring out whatever that last little puzzle piece was to be able to catch and beat Grant on a more consistent basis.
Right, get in the top five.
But then unfortunately he had the scaphoid issue. And so he decided, I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to go get it fixed, and we're going to, go do this the right way. So he's going to be back in XC2 this year. I get it. He probably is going to be the person to come away with that championship at the end of the year, at the end of 2015.
Right.
But I just really wish that he was XC1. Like, I've seen him race a big bike against the big bike guys. And he's just an animal. I mean, an absolute
he is.
Animal.
He truly is. I think. the scaphoid is a huge injury to not. You got to take that thing seriously. I mean, that takes out a lot of people and stuff. A lot of great racers, and I think Russell's just kind of dropping down, getting his mojo back, getting the groove back, and I think we'll see him in XC1 really soon. I really do.
Yeah, and we stand corrected. Grome is on factory beta, and I'm an idiot for totally forgetting that. That is true. That press release totally came out, and that's exciting because of the fact that Zach Huberty, a good friend of mine, also runner of InnovationOffroad.com, is actually going to be the kind of the East Coast team manager this year.
Oh, really? Nice.
Super young.
Nice.
Dude,
yeah.
I mean, he's just a little bit older than you, probably maybe a year or two older than your brother. But what I've noticed about Zach is he's super focused, and when he has his mind set on something, he just works on that.
He's going to make it happen.
And I think, and you could see that with Innovation Off-Road, and I think we're going to see the same thing, as team manager for the beta squad. Now, again, as we were talking earlier, I was like, you're a faster racer. You're going to have a lot more opinions than I am on certain aspects. And I think it's the same thing. Like, I've never been a team manager. I have absolutely no idea how I would go about organizing a team. I mean, I organize teams at work. But I organize teams at work for what I do on a daily basis, and that daily basis is not racing dirt bikes. You know what? Like,
right? I get. So
I might be able to make some pollination to like figure it out.
Understanding,
but I would not expect to do well my first year. So I don't know what's got to be going on in Zach's head, like getting ready for this year. It's got to be crazy.
I mean, it's a huge thing because just being the team, like he represents it and everything. And I mean, you got to go through the racers, the support for them, where to be, when to be it, and just to really stay with the racers and make sure they feel supported and well taken care of. It's a huge mental side of it, and just knowing how your team's going to do and making sure you have a great year for them and hoping they'll be back with you.
Yeah. I remember. I wish I could remember which team it was. It might have been Pro Circuit. Obviously, kind of switching to the Supercross, motocross side of things. But there was a team where one rider started to essentially get butthurt because the team manager, when they would walk into the tent, would just go to the first rider and start talking to them all the time. And this other rider just so happened, the way that their bikes lined up, always happened to be the last rider in the tent. And he just kind of was like, he like had to have a discussion with the team manager about like he's like, dude, I've been back, longer than everybody else. He's like, why can't you come and it's little weird stuff like that where
Right.
not only do you have to figure out how you're going to be a good team manager, but you got to figure out how your riders are going to be good riders while you're trying to be a good team manager for them individually as well as a team.
I think a great example is Mike LaRocco. I mean, also being a great racer himself and just knowing that aspect.
Jumping his bike really far.
And having the...
I mean, he does have a leap named after him.
Exactly. Yeah, having that crazy... Oh, my goodness. And even on a bike less than what everybody else is riding. But, I mean, he came into the manager scene and just really put it down, made everyone feel comfortable. I know I'm pretty good friends with Justin Bogle, and so he deals with LaRocco a lot.
Snap.
Oh, man. And
bringing in the heat.
Well, that's just because of Dalton. But
can you text him right now? And will he text you back?
Probably not.
No.
he's Rat Pack. Yeah, so... he says LaRocco's a great guy, always in everybody's business, saying, "Hey, what can we do to forward your racing career?" And always trying to make everybody feel like a champion, feel like they are in the title and stuff, and making sure the team runs well. And I think that he did a great transition into the racer and manager side of things because it's again for them, it's a whole mental thing. You're not racing anymore; you're a business guy now.
Yep.
You're like racing is just a small part of what you have to deal with. You got to deal with everything behind the scenes. And I think Chad's doing a great job.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Chad Reed's also doing a great job on that. I mean, racing and running his own team.
Yeah, that's got to be ridiculous.
He's got to have a lot of gray hair now.
Yeah. In places we probably don't want to know about.
No, because there's not enough room.
Kids.
Oh, and 2 kids.
Good God.
Yeah.
You saw my littlest one.
Yeah.
Running around being crazy. Nora's a bad crazy man.
That's not even at the track either.
I
know.
She's that's just nuts. That's just period. That's how kids do it, man.
Yeah.
It's like it's so weird. I got my first taste of trying to orchestrate a very small in the logistical sides of things, very small amount of a race team, if you will. Like so when I did the Baja Rally. Like all the weird stuff that I'm like trying to orchestrate all the sponsors, trying to get all the parts together, trying to get the bike prepared, trying to get me prepared. And then it was like I just got lucky that my dad was so involved and took care of the logistics side of things. Because once we finally got on the road, I mean, I was just mentally fried, of all the weird stuff that you just don't even think about that's going to come up that you have to deal with. So I can take that 10, 20 degrees, and make it that much tougher, more tough.
And then go race.
Yeah. Like, that's Chad Reed.
Yeah.
Chad Reed.
I'm lucky to have a dad that's just all over it, man.
He's like, yeah, you go to sleep. I'll drive through the night. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And just wake up on every weekend on the bikes there and stuff. All my friends give me crap for that and probably don't give them enough thanks, but definitely just not having to have that mental stress on me. Just I'm worried about how am I going to hit this jump or how am I going to go fast and how fast can I get? And just coming back and saying, Dad, I don't like how this setup is. And then him being there for me. So
I like how you worry about how fast you're going to hit the jump. That's not my concern at all. I mean, I am literally like...
Yours is if you're going to hit the jump.
How quickly can I shut off the gas before the lip so I can make up an excuse about something running across the trail or track?
Dog barking in the bushes.
Scared the shit out of me. I don't know, man. There were some Mexicans doing it in the woods. Totally took my focus, man. I just had to shut her down.
Just couldn't make it happen with this equipment.
Man, that 10-foot kicker was big, though, huh?
Yeah.
I'd have hit it. Woo, buddy.
It's like, dude, it was 5.
One day I'm going to step it up, and it's going to
GoPro doesn't show it that big, man.
It's a wide-angle lens, man. It totally kills the whole angle.
Yeah.
It totally kills it, man. It just blows out of proportion. So... GNCCs this year, you got to do quite a few of them, and you got to do quite a few bigger ones too, right?
Exactly.
I mean, how was that, getting the chance to travel from Texas, like not just travel from Texas, but travel with your family? You get to do it with your dad and do all that.
This year we didn't do as much as we did the last 2 years. The last 2 years we were fully committed and going for points and everything. And I was in the 250A class and had some unfortunate wrecks and stuff, put me in 6th in the points.
So you're saying there's a pattern?
Most likely, yeah. I bet if I did it again, something would happen.
My pattern is just sucking.
It's steady, consistent.
I'm a consistent sucker.
Yeah. Again, both ways.
Yeah. Don't go there.
I got a couple of good first seconds in that class, all the top fives, but again, some of those crashes did hurt me. So this year we only we got to hit I think 3 or 4. Allie did a couple more than me, but yeah, traveling with the family, it's great. It's really fun. Sometimes stressful, but being on the road like 12 hours at a time.
How would you guys make those drives? Like, what's the setup?
Because the last 2 years, I was in school and everything, so it would get out of school Friday, trailer already set with a van, and had a bed in the back, and then a little box trailer, and then we would head out Friday night, drive through the night, Friday to Saturday, get there around Saturday around like 5 or 6-ish.
PM?
Drop the trailer off, go to a hotel, sleep, race the next day, leave right after, and then get home. Sometimes I would go to school muddy as crap with no
sometimes
no
you'd be
backpack.
dropped off at school.
Oh yeah, most of the time actually. Yeah, most of the time I'd come in and I'd sleep every class,
Right.
but attendance wise, and the teacher would be like,
here.
"Dylan, get up." No, you have no idea what I've been through. And that was like at the 3-hour races
smell
out. Yeah,
me?
me and Allie 2 3-hour races each, and then Allie with mud in her hair and everything, and just it was fun.
So you don't have to worry about the boys hitting on her because.
No, you see her even with mud in her hair. Yeah.
I mean, that could be a turn on.
Yeah, exactly. But this year, GC hit their biggest race ever in history.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, out of 40 years, biggest race, and Unadilla was always known for just the
pulling
outstanding.
the numbers, yeah.
Because I mean, it's Unadilla. Who doesn't want to go there?
Freaking Dillon.
Exactly. And as we know, Ironman collected a national motocross track to their name.
Yeah.
And so
Which
I was there.
unfortunately was shit this year. But hey.
Yeah. Well, for motocross, got.
Yeah, you guys got the
Oh
ball
my
diggity.
goodness! And I see why it was the biggest. And usually Ironman doesn't pull the racers; they pull the fans.
Right.
And but when I do go there, IQ level does it's scary. You walk in packs if you ever go.
It's like going to the Juggalo concert.
Yeah. You ain't rebel enough is a great saying down there. And
You ain't rebel enough.
I'm not kidding. I hear that daily there. And by
Does that
kids,
mean that that's only like 30 beers on your wizard staff? That you
actually,
drink,
funny
or?
thing, it was I walking right behind him. The kid was going to smash a can over his head, and the kid said, "You ain't rebel enough," and he totally did it.
And what happened to him?
Oh yeah, like he knocked on the ground, but he did it. So the kid got up and walked and
So
stuff.
he's totally rebel enough.
And I'm like, dude, why isn't he racing? That is some insane like mental stability right there. But geez Louise, man. But anyways, I hadn't been. This was kind of a weird one because hadn't been training at all for it. For the 3-hour race, I've only been riding an hour.
Look at you. I would have never guessed.
I know, right? And just nothing.
Like we must be on the same program.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. And so, Allie did. Allie was doing fantastic. She really was. But the funny thing is, I pointed out her line to her while we were walking the track on Saturday, and I said, "Hey, you should take this line. It's a great line." She did take it, and there's about this big a log there, and on the GoPro, you can see it, dude, just end over end. But she did.
Did she like ragdoll over?
Oh,
the top
dude,
of the bike? Like,
on the GoPro, it was like bike was 20 feet away from her and everything. She was doing great though. She was. But she moved the log out of the way for me though, because I took the line in the race. It was not there, man. I saw it was to the side. I was like, I'm sorry, Allie. But no, got off the line.
So Dustin Malico lives 15 minutes from Ironman. He says he's never heard that. Well, you ain't rebel enough.
I was about to say, has he been to the races? Add alcohol and bikes, man. Things are coming out.
You ain't rebel enough, Dustin.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
your problem.
When
That's
I was
why.
there this year, they stayed up till 4 a.m. on a bucking bull, on a mechanical bull, and there was thousands of people, thousands around this bull, at 4 a.m. And I'm like, I'm trying to sleep, and they're just screaming, yelling. There's girls always on it, so I'm just,
Yes, there are. That's why they're up till 4 a.m.
yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
"Jubblies."
All the guys are not even on it. So, anyways, no, got off the line, got second, led the first lap actually, and was in fourth, and then ended up third, 27th overall.
Nice.
4 down from the top amateur, and you can ask Craig and Allie. I came off the track and I was like, I don't know what I just did, but it worked out. Like
that was nice.
but it was beautiful. It was 86, sunny. Track was totally primed, jumping everything. And,
rebel as fuck.
oh my gosh, yes. In the woods, I mean, it couldn't have been more primo. So I understand why they had the biggest turnout. I really do. It was just, I mean, but just to see it, you couldn't believe it. You would have to just be there on the start.
I picture this, and especially because I made the Juggalo reference, because there's a documentary out about the Juggalos. What's the group? It's Insane Clown Posse, right? Yeah. ICP. Yeah. So the group is the ICP, Insane Clown Posse. Well, their group of following, their fannies, are called the Juggalos, and there's like a documentary about these people that follow ICP around to these like for their bigger like festivals. Oh, dude, and it's rebel as fuck.
Yeah,
like,
I bet.
It's intense, dude. It's on Vimeo. You can watch the documentary. It's retarded. But that I've thought that if there was extra money, like, I mean, not extra money to be made, but extra money to have to do this, to sponsor something, a documentary on the mud fleas would be phenomenal. Like if you could make it to like some of the top GNCCs,
right?
Like Powerline Park, Unadilla and Ironman, like some of the really well-known northeast ones, and especially the ones that have all the mud because of the mud fleas.
Right.
You would have. I mean, the documentary would just be. I mean, just
mind blowing.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
I think we would have to title it "You Ain't Rebel Enough."
I think they came out with the best saying. I mean, just for racing, you ain't rebel enough, man. If you don't race, you ain't rebel enough.
Dude, I don't. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that is.
So next time I see you not hitting
bumper
jump,
sticker. Yeah,
yeah, you ain't rebel enough.
I'll be like, rebel this bitch.
Yeah. Dang it, he's so
ain't
right.
real enough, son. Gingerbread. I don't know who that is, but it makes me think of Bolton. That redheaded little ginger. You know what I mean? Like for some reason, like seeing gingerbread makes me think of that. I like it. For those of you who don't know, we do actually have a chat room. It's tlk.io/seattime. That's where some of the fun stuff is coming from. The little comments that we're getting going on here.
They're hilarious.
I know they've got some. They're doing really good tonight, and I think it's maybe. You know what it is? It's us.
Yeah, we're
fanning the flame.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. You guys are awesome on your own accord, and we just are thankful that you're here paying attention to it with us. So remember how I told you I texted Steve Mathis?
Right, yep.
So he actually texted back. I'd say yes, but we don't have our headphones set up, and the Skype computer's not on, so it would be like a cluster right now.
Sorry, man.
Luckily haven't had. No, we'll be okay.
Okay,
we'll make it work. We'll make it work. So. I think let's dive in a little bit and kind of talk about some of this stuff. Now, granted, this is going to be not a granular level. I mean, there are a lot of riders that have done a lot of changing on teams.
Yeah.
We've seen sponsorship type changes. We've seen like teams change bikes, all kinds of stuff. So we're just going to kind of talk about some of that stuff. Talk about the riders, what's been going on, what we think about those changes, and do we think they're good decisions? How we think they're going to do. So I mean, we could start it off right now. Cody Webb making the switch from the championship-winning Beta 300 that he's been on, and he's going to be going to the RPM KTM team, riding, from what I understand, a 350.
Yes.
I think he's going to make the change to the 350.
You're right.
He has rode the 350 Beta.
Right, yes.
And continuously gone back to the 300. So I wonder, I mean, there's a lot of quick changes there.
I don't know much on the 350 betas, but I mean, it's been working out for him in the past. I mean,
yeah,
just sticking around that area. Riders that have great success, they don't really try to veer away from that.
Yeah, so I mean, but Cody Webb, you could see when he and Alan Stillwell, the manager at the time of the factory beta team, kind of on the West Coast, if you will. This was before there was really a factory, presence on the East Coast. You could start to see when they really started to gel, because you could tell Cody's like, I'm going to I need to make this change. This is what needs to happen. Alan would know, or this is what is happening, and Alan would know how to adjust that, like suspension-wise and motor-wise, full package, and that would happen. And then you slowly just saw the confidence and the skill level of Cody Webb blossom.
Right. I mean, Beta wasn't Betas wasn't really widely known at that time, and Cody just put it to the next level and said, hey, this bike is competitive and we can make it this way. And when you give the rider the right tools and he gives you the right riding style for the bike, I mean, it's just like a great championship package. And he really showed it this year.
Yeah, if nothing else, staying so consistent in years past that consistency, that lack of consistency has kind of been what's hurt him. But this past year, I mean, you can't say that he didn't have it. He was on top of the box
like
more than he needed to be.
Yeah, like he said, the foot gave him a hard time, just taking him out of the run that he had. And then he's like, I just had no injuries, the right time, the right process I needed to take. And I mean, when you give the guy all the time in the world to make the changes he needs to make and just study up, dude, he's going to be one heck of a guy to beat.
Yeah. So him making that switch now to a different brand, probably a different bike. He's been on the 300, two-stroke for a long time. If he goes to the 300 on the KTM, probably not much of a difference. Really, just frame and suspension. Now, suspension plays a huge part, and obviously engine work. And I mean, they do so much minuscule things to those bikes that make such a big difference for some of these riders. How's he gonna be able to do?
Well, I mean, in Endurocross, I think I would really work on my suspension more than the engine. I really would. I mean, these guys are jumping into boulder-sized rocks and just hauling up to the logs and stuff. It's just such a close quarters race. I mean, he's on KTM, so that means he got the WP suspension on there.
Yep.
And I know, like I said in the past, later on, it does have that variety package for it. It does have the ability to on the spot change it if he wants. And so I think with WP and the KTM guys behind him, I know RPM is a great successful riding team also, and GSC having a great presence there. I don't see him really falling back. I see a couple changes going to be made, but I think just as him and the rider, he'll make it work. Yeah. Just like Beta, I give him the right parts and give the rider enough time, he'll make it happen.
Right. Yeah, and we saw at the Super Enduro in Poland a couple weeks ago. He obviously did really well, but I asked him, I was like, how'd you feel? He goes, well, honestly, he's like, the two biggest things is I didn't get here early enough. He's just not physically well enough yet with the timetable adjustment.
Acclimated to the time,
right.
Yeah.
So that's why he's already in Germany right now for round 2 of the Super Enduro, because he wants to be that acclimated. He wants, he's taking Super Enduro very serious. And the rear shock, because he was running the Fox Racing rear shock on his Beta,
and he can't run that anymore.
Nope. And that is apparent. I mean, having talked with Alan, having talked with other riders that have ridden with that Fox Racing rear shock and some of the prototype front forks that they have, that what they're doing suspension wise is unlike what anybody else has out there.
Right. I think they'll have to work a little bit harder in getting. Just searching for that. I think he'll have to get a couple more parts in, maybe find that middle ground. Really, I mean, if you can't have the best thing, he'll try to get the next best thing in line and make it work.
If for some strange reason, the support group that he has with RPM, the RPM team within that little family, if for some strange reason he can't get that support, they do have factory service support.
That's
from
right.
KTM.
Yeah.
So it would just be probably a quick phone call away or an easy, drive down the road.
I mean, now he's an ex-Endurocross champion. I think he's got his name
like, guys,
more.
Yeah, it's like, help me figure this out. So,
you hired me, okay?
I'll say it. I expect Cody Webb to be contending for another Endurocross championship in 2015.
Oh, yeah. He did wake up, Taddy Blazuziak, though. Taddy,
you saw him come out in Poland.
Oh, man.
Just
took him to town.
Triple
man.
hat.
I mean, from start to finish, man. Just
the hat trick.
Again, Taddy, one of the widely known best enduro guys ever. I mean, with he's got the hard enduros, the Acetus guy. He's done it all, man. He has Erzberg just being one of the youngest to win it, and so I think it was a huge eye opener. Webb being able to pull that off. I mean, hats off to him to beat one of the best guys. And then Haker, man, Haker's always the guy just shoving his nose in the door. Or if
you're like Jordan and I on the webcast in Atlanta, Hacker, and getting called out by everybody.
Haker, yeah.
It's Hacker.
Yeah.
It's Haker.
Yeah, it's Haker, yeah. And, I mean, you can see Haker's videos, I mean, pulling off the 360 on the bike and stuff. Yeah. And, I mean, he's just talented. And so, again, with Webb pulling it off for this year, I think he did awake Taddy. So I don't think he's going to walk right into it now this year and just think it's going to happen again. I think it's going to come down to 2-1 round towards the end.
That would be cool if it does.
I mean it did
was
this
all
year,
close.
but
It was close, though.
Yeah, it was like 6 points or something like that.
Screwed up.
I think it'll come down to 1 point. Like, really, you have to win the heat. You got to win the main, and that's going to how it's end up.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be closer as a 3-way instead of just 1 or 2 guys.
3-ways are fun.
Yeah, in every aspect.
All around. You mentioned Colton Haker, so that's it's very, very cool to see him on a Euro brand. I think the way that he rides, I think once he gets used to kind of coming back off of the Japanese brands, that he's going to be a very dominant force.
Right.
It's interesting that he's kind of a support rider, though. I wonder if maybe this is like Mike Brown's last year, and he's kind of maybe gonna like work his way into filling Mike Brown's shoes. But you notice he's also wearing Fly Racing gear, which super stoked to still have Colton Haker in the Fly Racing family.
Right. Yeah.
But I wonder what that dynamic's like.
Right. Because
and then and then Ryan Sipes is MSR. He's kind of like that factory supported.
He's on the same level as Haker. Yeah.
So it's a little interesting.
They're labeled as the Husqvarna athletes, the Rockstar athletes and stuff like that. So again, I'm kind of with you. I think they're following in the shadows right now, kind of gonna step into the next spots. But I haven't heard much from Brown wanting to retire or anything. So
I honestly was a little surprised that he came back this year. I don't know. I just see him like physically watching him at some of the rounds. He just did not seem into it. Like, he would get way more frustrated than the Mike Brown of old, and just not the results as well. So, no clue. Family dynamic, personal stuff, maybe just mentally not there.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's got a new year, fresh slate, and so we'll see how he does this year. Again, Husqvarna just throwing bikes out.
Is it bikes or money? I mean, what is it?
Dude,
like,
it's both. You got to have both to do it.
When KTM sells as many off-road bikes as they did,
kidding.
Then they buy Husky. So then they just throw a bunch of money into Husky.
Well, I mean, now they're separate companies though. They made it clear at the when I went when I went to California and to the KTM ride day and then the Husqvarna ride day in Cali, they made it clear that these companies do not work together. And even though they are backed by the same group, they are separated by the corporation side of things.
Right.
Just they are right now in Austria building the Husqvarna, building just the factory production site and everything, getting the new state of the art equipment there, and they're going to have that ready. And
is that why Huskies and KTMs are still so much alike?
Yes,
once they get that done,
I think it was like a 5-year thing. They're
going to
kind
of start to
yes
differentiate themselves.
They'll say you'll see a different engine kind of design to it. I mean, you can't make the bikes look like light years different,
right?
But
there is something to be said if you can have two motorcycle brands run off of maybe the same frame and swing arms, or even the same like swing arms. I mean, even that would save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in production. If you can not have to make two different presses.
But no, they want to, man. They definitely do. Yep, they got all mechanics different, all corporations, business people different.
Yeah, so it'll be neat to see as that develops and how that really kind of starts to change and move about. Somebody's gonna make me crack on camera. I don't know what that means. Crack on camera. I mean, I do everything on camera except take my clothes off. That's just a different show. So
you get more than you pay for.
Yeah, you. I mean, this is it. Like, it's pretty raw. I don't see how I can crack. I mean, like, if I just like literally go.
Like, is he going to say something to make you mad or something? Or
no, like it's pretty much not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, I'm not going to give you my address, but it's still not going to happen. It's going to get weird.
Right.
So we talked about beta a little bit and how Cody Webb's not going to be on that. With that opening, we saw Kyle Redmond getting a full-time factory beta gig deal.
Yeah, slipping right into that. Yeah,
super excited for Kyle Redmond because he's such an awesome, chill, laid-back dude, and I don't know if that's always been in his best favor. I don't know that people see him as somebody that's willing to fight maybe for a championship, like, because they kind of see him as such a laid-back kind of guy.
Right.
But so I think with that lack of support, he just hasn't had a chance to gain any kind of momentum because he's always fighting parts. He's always fighting mechanicals.
He's always fighting Webb. He's behind him.
Yeah.
So now he's in the spotlight. He's their guy. And so, no, I watched him ride a couple times, and the dude's phenomenal. He's flawless. And so it is strange to see him like, man, he's there, but he's not there at the same time. And so it's kind of, I'm glad with him just to be able to take that spot.
Yeah. Max Gersten is going to be back on the factory beta team in Endurocross. I think it was the
he's
overall,
back. All
fourth
right,
overall
yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Love that dude. If I've gotten a chance to not just hang out with him, I haven't had a chance to ride with him, but I got a chance to hang out with him, got a chance to drink with him, got a chance to do shots of vodka with his mom.
You can't tell him that the factory teams listen.
No, I could call Alan. Alan was next to me when I was doing shots with Max's mom. I think it's okay. I was doing shots with Alan, so
Right.
it doesn't really matter.
Max is a crazy rider, man. He
Max
does some
is,
crazy
and
stuff.
he is, but he's ear to ear grin all the time.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just so much fun. So that's
Yeah.
he's just a really cool dude.
How old is
so-
he, man? He ain't
Not,
even,
not very old.
No, he's young.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I would say probably your brother's age.
I was
right
thinking
right
that
there
too.
in the early,
because
early
he
20s.
popped when he came into the pro scene, man. He was super young.
Yeah, well, he
Really young.
won the old style like junior endurocross championship.
That's right,
they
yeah.
used to have. He actually won that. So
Right.
it's really cool to see. We got Charlie Mullins. I'm healing up. Okay, just want to make sure I could read it. And it sounds like Charlie Mullins is healing up, and he's going to go to the
Nice.
doctor to get the cast off soon.
That's cool. Good,
So,
good.
Sounds like he's super pumped. That's going to be fun.
Is that on both wrists or one?
Oh,
Because it's a double wrist thing, man. He's got a left and right problems.
go to the doctor to get the one cast off.
The one cast. So it might be his text back if it's his left or right, because he's got the Charlie injured his scaphoid on that one on the right side, I think, and then the left side it was that loose muscle issues that had to be tightened back up for him, and he had to have that fuse together, and then on the left one he had to have that scaphoid. He had to have I think a graft into it. Yeah, that's serious. Whenever you get dug into your body, man, it's some time.
Yeah.
So
I know what you mean, bro.
I'm really looking forward to it. Like Caleb said when Caleb Russell won the GCC title, he said it sucked that he didn't get to race his teammate for it, because
Did he get the battle the way he
Caleb
won? Yeah.
knows like it wouldn't have been that easy. I mean,
Yeah.
he won it 2 rounds before the season was over, but he knows if Charlie was there, it would have been a tough one, and Charlie knows that as well.
It'd have been on.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is awesome.
Charlie's
the
really the
microphone
one.
is up your nose. Joanna Bailey. Is it just my mustache that makes it look up my nose? Does it look up my nose like this, Steven?
Joe. Oh man.
Does it change any? I'll do like this.
No, guys, can't do that.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah,
no. Is it up my nose if it's in my mouth? No. Okay.
He's
So-
on a whole nother level.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, man. Sometimes that Thursday show really kind of works its way into the
Back
Tuesday
into
show.
it, yeah.
I know it's kind of strange.
Yeah.
Are you guys talking to anyone that is doing King of the Motos?
Oh my
We
goodness, I want to do
yeah,
that so much.
that is that's Alan. That's on from Oklahoma. He put on Red Dog. Buzz. Thank you, Buzz of the Red Dog, and so a lot of off-road racing, like a lot of 4x4 off-road
Huge
racing and
off-road
stuff.
racing, yeah.
And so he's been trying to get us in touch with some different riders that are going to be doing the King of the Motos.
Yeah.
So yes, we will definitely be talking to some riders that are doing the King of the Motos. I mean, guys like
that's
Taylor Roberts,
Everyone,
yeah,
basically,
Caleb
man.
Russell, because now. Like we didn't that first year, we just kind of had like Graham Jarvis come over. We saw Tadej Bazuziak and Cody Webb and a couple other guys like Kyle Redmond and Corey Griffiner probably did it. But now we're
Right.
starting to see Caleb Russell go out west
Yeah.
to do it. Because last year Taylor Robert was out there now on the KTM on his 2-stroke. So yeah, we're starting to see a lot more factory.
But wasn't
guys
it Webb
head west.
that Webb pulled it off pretty good?
Mhm.
Yeah,
No, Webb's done really well
Yeah,
since
he's
he
really good there.
since the first year. I don't believe he did all that well, but after that, he's been dominating.
solid there. I mean, Webb winning the TKO knockout. I mean, that was just like that wasn't even a challenge for him. It looked like.
Were you there?
No, I did see the reviews on it.
I was there.
Yeah,
And it was literally
he makes everything look too easy.
so when he came around, we had Taylor Robert came in second, and
Yep.
before third place came in, Wally Palmer came in, and I like literally was like, man, Wally Palmer got third. That is awesome. And I started, dude, congrats on getting third. He goes, dude, I got lapped. I was like, what? He goes, like those two guys did a whole nother lap than me. He's like, we got passed on he's like the waterfall section right now is a clusterfuck. He's like third place is still back there in the woods somewhere.
Grant ended
Yeah,
up
it
getting
was like-
third, which was huge for him. But
Yeah.
I mean, again, like great for Robert, but Webb, I mean, he just those rocks, the size of rocks, the size of obstacles that he goes through.
Yeah.
And just one little look at them. Okay, I got it.
Well, you got to email them and see if the amateur openings, if there's still any more rows for the amateurs, because I signed up again.
Yeah, no.
We're going to be there. Dude, it really is a lot of fun. You just got to ride your butt off.
Yeah, I'll set it up, but just not right. Well, with the show and everything.
Graham Jarvis first year, Cody Webb's second year.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, Jarvis, you can't argue with. To me, just my opinion, not saying anything. Just I think he is the most talented rider right now out there.
Yeah.
Even though Johnny Walker has put it down on him.
He's the upcoming. Yeah. Lately, Johnny Walker has.
I mean, on Moto 6, repping on that, just winning it, winning Sea of Sky, and then I'm pretty sure he won Sea of Sky, didn't he? And then Erzberg, winning Erzberg and stuff. Yep. But to me, Jarvis is the most just jaw-dropping fluid racer.
Yeah, the technique and the skill there that guy has is
it's
phenomenal.
Unreal. Yeah, and I follow him on Instagram, and his messing around videos are just years and years.
His messing around videos are the ones where I fall off the bike.
Like don't even get on the bike.
That's true.
True. Get up. Like I wouldn't even attempt the rock. He just looked at.
I would stand next to it.
Yeah, I'd be like, you got it.
It's this much taller than me.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's manual down it just for fun.
So we were talking about dead sexy, the way you align your wine. Yep. Mm-hmm. Man, we're just getting all kinds of comments about me mouthing the mic. Now the vodka's kicking in, so we're going to be on a roll.
Yeah, exactly.
All of that was before the vodka.
Yeah, now it's kicking in 30 minutes, right? Isn't it? Yeah.
No, it's been an hour.
Oh, it's full blown in the bloodstream.
Yeah, it's going, buddy. I'm not driving anywhere except upstairs.
It's not even a pint.
Nope.
Dalton
Green.
Jet Live. Hey, Dalton, I did make a shout out to Rat Pack, making the designs for him. So I did. Brad Frace, Justin Bogle, all that crew in there. Yeah.
This is awesome. Like your stuff in Meta, buddy. Where was it? It was right over here somewhere.
It was, I think we took it off, actually.
Oh, yeah, we moved it off the couch. But, so, big question. We know that Tadej Blazusiak is signed on for 2015 and 2016 with KTM, but nothing in that says that he's going to be racing in the States for Endurocross again. He's been over here for 5 years. He's not, he still lives. He only lives in the States when he's racing Endurocross. He still goes back home other times.
You're right.
I wonder when he's going to do like Paul Whibley. It's like, you know what? I'm ready to go home. And yes, I'm going to race when I go home. It's not going to be at the level I'm doing now. Now, Tadej Blazusiak would still race at that level. But I'm wondering like if or when he's going to be done, racing in the States.
When I was at the KTM ride day, I got to have lunch with him. That was cool. Like literally from me to you, just talking with him. And it was cool. It was Dean Ferris and Tadej Blazusiak. And I asked Tadej, I was like, hey, you going to do any extreme enduros anymore, like Erzberg and stuff? He's like, no, I'm done with that. He's like, I don't want to do that anymore. It's too physically hard. I've already won it. If you win it, there's no reason to do it again. And he said, I'm strictly enduros now. Well, after I think this was an insight on just maybe he is more toward the extreme enduro or the hard enduros over like in Poland and the and the European side. Maybe he's kind of done with the U.S. side of it and stuff. Maybe that's why he got second. He just wasn't mentally there with Webb. I mean, making the mistakes he made this year that he usually doesn't make. Yeah. Maybe it's kind of an insight that he's wanting to go home like Whibley.
Well, I have never had lunch with Tadej Blazusiak.
I can say I did. It was cool.
I have no insight. We have Dillon Green for all the insight. I did not realize that you were like snobbing with all the big boys.
Well, when he asked to sit down with you, you're like, gonna say no?
Yeah, I will. Yeah. I don't want a ski pole, but I'll sit down next to you.
Wait, keep my pants on? Oh,
damn it.
All right.
Oh, Taddy, you're killing me here.
Sorry.
So, Josh Strang, another non-American Australian.
Oh, huge Aussie.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Going to be on the Factory Rockstar Husqvarna off-road team for 2015 and 2016. Racing the 450 in the XC1 class for the GNCCs and then the 350 at the National Enduros. Stoked on multiple levels because I think Josh Strang has been missing that support. When I go to the races, I like to talk to Strang. He's a very cool dude, but I'm not a personal friend of his by no means. And
right.
So I don't know how well he works. He has worked when it's just really him supporting himself. I don't know how well he can go out and test and make adjustments and really do all that kinds of the stuff that you need to do when you're testing to be a better racer without having that full factory support. So it'll be a really cool to see, what he's going to be able to do now when he's given that again. He's going to be able to go to the test track and test and come back and say this, and this, and then somebody's going to be able to help him, go through that and and make changes if changes need to be made.
Well, just like he was saying on Instagram and everything, and just on other websites, him and his dad have grown up with Husqvarna.
They own the Husky shop. That's right.
Yeah, having that origin and that bond with him, to me, it sounds like he couldn't be more happy with this change.
I agree.
Like he has wished for this in his mindset. I mean, being an ex-GNCC champion and on the Suzuki and stuff, and just making it happen, he knows he can be up there with them, and he knows he should be in number one spot. And just like you said, having that support, having that team behind you, I mean, who knows? I mean, just look what he did just with himself.
Yep,
it's impressive. And so having that background experience of
That's
knowing.
what I say every time I fill up the toilet paper. Look what I did by myself. Yeah.
I bought that.
What is it, Knuckle Children?
Yeah.
Oh, Peter Griffin.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
Peter
he does
Griffin.
train with Caleb Russell. I saw him and Caleb actually ride together a lot.
Man.
Yeah. I'm like,
they're gonna be so bad. I wish we could get them to
yeah.
all race like 150s together just to see what it would be like.
dude, the Caleb Russell at Ironman, he was actually doing it for Rory Mead in the hospital.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I mean, that was a huge upset in the racing industry when that happened to him. Hope he's doing good. But Rory always rode the 150. He just liked it. He liked the two strokes a lot, 250, 150s. And so he did race a couple other races on the 150. He got a fourth and third, I think it was.
Right.
But this last one, he told everybody, I'm going to do it.
Yep.
And
Happening.
I mean, the confidence, the degrading of confidence that everybody had to have on 450s, 350s, this full out, like factory bikes, and this guy just rolls in on a 150 and was just like, dude, I got it. 2 minutes, I think it was.
I can't even think. I've ridden a 150, love it. They're so much fun.
Right.
But I can't even imagine how much faster a factory built 150 would be.
Oh man,
Just
and you
in
can
the
see
suspension.
it.
Okay,
I have to say the suspension. If anybody's been to Bonita, for the last 2-3 miles, it's just that
the
full
sand
whoop.
whoops that just ass kickery.
Okay, yeah, put that for perfect dirt and 13 miles. That's Ironman. That's why it's called Ironman, because it's unforgiving. And they don't grade it, they don't change it. I mean, it's
like
if you watch my GoPro, you'll hear I GoPro'd it, and you'll hear the bike doubling through in the woods. And these are just whoops.
It's just years and years and years
exactly
of whoops and whoops and whoops. Yeah.
You smile because like the track's beautiful, but then also you're like, I hate my life. Like, why am I doing this? And that's where I was thinking, the suspension. I don't care how good his suspension was on a 150 with his weight, his speed. That bike must have just been like, get off of me, please. And he put it up for sale. It's an auction off. I was like, I wouldn't take that bike. Like 3 hours, and he just
reamed the shit out of it.
Everybody was so surprised he wasn't walking out of the woods saying it locked up. I mean, if you watched him in the cornfields, because you ride a cornfield and stuff, he didn't let off.
Just
like, honestly, he couldn't let off because it's just sucking power out. So he's just, it was a phenomenal ride by him.
Wow. Oh, it's intense. It's going to be cool to see those guys step it up. So, another rider that's going to be, he's going to be entering the XC1 class, but switching brands completely and kind of teams in general is going to be Grant Baylor. So,
Right.
Grant Baylor was going to be riding a KTM 450 in XC1 this year, and then all of a sudden the press release comes out for the Blue Crew for Yamaha's Ampro team, and Grant Baylor is riding a 450 in the XC1 class. Now we know that the Baylors are close friends with the Hawkinses. They live really close to there, ride on the farm all the time. So it's not a shock by any means. I don't think that he's on a Yamaha. I think it's a shock that he maybe left, the factory team that has the most money and the most support. And
They offered
R&D.
him it, and I would think they would. I mean,
I mean, his bike was being built.
And
his XC1 450
was
for
in the
KTM
making.
was being built by his mechanic.
And
So
that's
that's how
me.
that's why it was so kind of like
and the funny thing is, I don't think Stu had anything to do with that, because Stu's new team is supported by KTM.
Right,
He's
yeah.
still in the family.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's his ego thing, kind of like, hey, I'll do it on my own. Like, I can be this fast without the team.
yeah.
I mean, he was one of the youngest to almost overall a race a couple times actually overall
From
the whole
yeah,
GNCC,
the whole thing,
like
from
a
the
minute
XC2
back
line,
and stuff. And so that is weird that he would leave such a prestigious factory, the biggest factory team out there. I mean, they have the biggest presence out there, and and it shows the most money. So
you think the most money, but I guess too, like teams probably treat a lot of that differently. Like say maybe KTM, what they do is they're like, all right, guys, you're all gonna make salary of X, to each of their people. It's like, but they maybe and that may seem a little bit higher, but their bonus may not be as good, or vice versa. You don't
make
think
as
about
much,
that. The Ampro team just got rid of Paul Whibley, who we know was not cheap. Like,
no,
that
exactly.
guy would be very, very expensive. So they're getting Grant
And you
Baylor
got
and
Ashburn,
Daniel Milner. I would say that Ashburn is. I like Ashburn. Don't get me wrong, but I would say that Ashburn is thankful to have a spot.
Yeah,
I don't.
But didn't he finish second?
Jordan Ashburn.
Yeah, in GNCC.
I thought Strang did.
No, he was 1 point behind. Yeah, so he got third, I think. Right, his best year yet, I would think.
Yeah, I just guess that like performance-wise, like you would say, yeah, sure. Or Ashburn's been consistent, but I don't know that.
I don't
would
think they were
consider
looking
him
for
like
consistent.
a top 5. Like, I don't think they were looking for consistent. If you're gonna have two guys, the two they have with Milner and Baylor are gonna be awesome. But if you're gonna have a third guy that is gonna always be there and always be consistent and probably gonna be in the top 5, like that 4th, 5th kind of place guy, it's gonna be Ashburn.
Do you think they want that? Do you think they would keep him along with that?
If that seems what it looks like.
Yeah. Again, he's probably just like, all right, let's do it. It's another year, man.
I think it's awesome. I think, but it's always one of those like, am I going to have a ride? Am I going to have a ride? Am I going to have a ride? So.
Yeah, right. So,
and
nice guy,
yes,
though. Really nice
sure.
guy.
I love this. We're just getting all kinds of good feedback. So, more text. We'll leave the names off maybe just in case.
Yeah.
Stu is a rebel.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. It's
Say it
so
again.
nice.
Say
yeah.
it again.
You ain't rebel enough, man.
You ain't rebel enough. Stu's rebel enough. I would agree with this, that Stu is going to work better on his own bike. Stu Baylor is going to be. We're gonna have some kind of a resurgent of what we saw. What was it in 2012 when he won the National Enduro title?
Yep. Yes.
Like where he just came out of nowhere
Youngest.
and dominated.
Wasn't his rookie year.
Yeah. And
rookie
so
year.
I think
just
there's a
came
good
out.
chance that we're going to see glimpses of that.
Yeah.
I don't.
But again,
who knows how his wrists
racing-
really are going to hold up?
Again,
But-
it's mental. Racing is like 60% mental, 40% physical. That's what we all agree on as racers, and a lot of people don't agree, believe in that. But I mean, trust me, you take a guy with 100% like huge mental capability, he'll outrun the most fit guy. I mean,
Which is
because
Caleb Russell.
which it is, and again,
mentally
but
anyway, yeah.
what I'm talking about mental is he's running a team now. I don't know.
How tough is that going to be?
I mean, he's not just gonna have, like you said, show up to the race and just, all right, I'm gonna go practice. You handle my bike now. It's okay. Everyone's got to get to the race. I got to take care of Trevor now.
Yep.
I got to pay him now. I got to make sure. Like he was just saying, he was looking for his latest post was he's looking for a trailer sponsor to get to the races. If that doesn't happen, man, they're both in for a rude awakening, and it ain't just going to be about the track anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, so if he doesn't do good, his team doesn't look good.
It's going to be. I wonder if there's a little bit of Grant taking the position with Yamaha, being so close to the house, being so close to the Hawkinses, that he's going to be able to get a lot more personal attention there with the Ampro team
Then with KTM.
than he would with KTM, which then leaves Big Stu to help Stuart Baylor Jr. with his team a little bit more.
Right.
Because if you've watched before, because what Big Stu's been able to do is he's been able to be under one tent and help both of his boys when they need it or if they need it. Typically more so Grant, because Grant's kind of been the support guy.
Yes.
So Big Stu has kind of been his mechanic and his kind of help and support. So maybe now, maybe Grant took this position with Ampro knowing that it's going to be more of a family atmosphere for him, so he'll be able to get more support from everybody around, so that'll leave Big Stu able to help out Little Stu
I'm
more.
surprised they're not under the same tent.
I don't know.
I'm surprised. I wonder if Stu was like, hey, you want to join?
I think Stewart is still good enough and still has the potential that KTM was willing to give him more for factory support.
Right, yep. Because I think his main sponsors are KTM, FMF, and
Fly.
Fly.
I don't know if that. Yeah, I mean, yes, yeah, because they're
Yeah,
supporting the
Trevor Bollinger,
Yep.
there. Yeah,
So-
it's FMF, KTM, and Fly is their three main ones.
So that's interesting. That's an interesting dynamic. Now I have no idea. Like we could email Big Stu, but he's just gonna be laid back Big Stu and not really give you an answer. So.
Yeah, he's just gonna be like, my kids are gonna do great. Okay, all right, no problem.
Love
man.
it. Keep going,
Yeah.
buddy. So we're talking
They'll
about those
win.
guys. Daniel Milner coming over, won the Orcs multiple times. Probably the top Australian off-road racer right now.
Over there, yeah.
He's come over to the States a couple times. Hasn't had the best performances, but talking with Josh String, talking with Shane Watts, a bunch of guys who have come over. It's a learning curve. It's a different style of racing coming over for the GNCCs. So once he has that learning curve down, once he's kind of within that, I think Daniel Milner will be, maybe that fourth, fifth, sixth kind of contender.
Right.
It'll take kind of like Ryan Sipes was last year. I think Ryan Sipes didn't do as good as we expected. I didn't expect him to come in and win, but I expect him to do a little bit better than he did last year. So maybe we'll see.
It's funny you say
close.
that too, because I think he was exactly where he needed to be, where I expected him to be, because coming from an off-road standpoint, I mean, you can't take. I don't. Everybody thinks motocross and off-road are very similar or not.
Right.
They're both science, like sciences to get it down. I mean, these guys have been coming to the tracks 10, 12 years, rustling on them. They've raced the same tracks before and again and again. And I mean, even with Daniel Milner, I mean, yeah, Australia, he might be the main guy over there, but to come down to these backyard tracks for these guys, it's a whole nother playing field and stuff. And Ryan didn't have that 3-hour stamina to take it. I knew he wouldn't. 30 minutes. I mean, I think that is a huge physical demanding track race is 30 minutes. Yeah, you take 3 hours now. I'm surprised he did as well as he did. I mean, Iron Man pulling off a third. I was like, dang, man.
I think one of the things when we had Ryan on the show is he talked about the fact that everybody has such knowledge of the tracks.
Yeah, it's
and he
huge.
has none.
It's huge. I mean,
same thing with Daniel Milner, and maybe that's why he kind of come over every now and again to kind of like test out at different tracks to kind of like just.
Like me and my dad always discuss. I mean, right when Caleb Russell unloads his bike, they already have a predetermined setting. Like, this worked last year. You won with this setting last year. We're going to stick with it. Daniel comes over. It's all new.
Yep.
There's no practice. All he has to go on is cycling the track. That's it. And when I mean cycling, yes, I see Caleb Russell and Mullins on a cycling bike with his mechanic cycling the track.
I think they call them bicycles.
Well, mountain bikes, yeah, whatever.
They were bicycling. They were.
Yeah, no one can ride. You can't do anything. And the ATVs ride first.
And the pro guys can only do it during the ATV race, right? Or something like that.
Right after it, just so nobody gets hurt. Yeah. So it's only Saturday. Sunday, you can't do it. So, again, Daniel, let's see how his off-road experience works out.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it will be another stacked guy in there.
So we were talking about Nick Farringer, unfortunately, going to be out for a while, having his MCL fix, some kind of proactive work. Or we heard it in July while he was practicing for the Pennsylvania National Enduro Round. Unfortunately, that MCL did not heal the way that they wanted it to. It's still giving some issues. So apparently, after seeing one of the big KTM doctors over there in Marietta, they just like, go see this guy on the East Coast, and we're gonna get him to say what it needs. Whatever he says goes, and apparently he said surgery.
When I was when I was at the Enduro where I hurt my arm, he was there and stuff, just stopping by and riding. He did say, he's like, he was searching around everywhere trying to find the right guy for the job, and he did said he tried to ride through it. He did. He thought it wasn't as bad as everyone thought it was and stuff, and he said
typically with MCLs, I mean, I've torn mine twice. Now, granted, I would know for a fact I do not ride like Nick Farringer or any professional, and I know that.
Yeah.
But it's both times, very concerned about it, and they're like, oh, no, it's just your MCL, stay off of it for a little bit. It'll start to heal itself. These are the strengthening exercise you need to do.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But apparently just the way that Nick rides is much more...
I mean, the body has to be 100% to win. It does. You can't have some lingering injury at all.
Yeah. So that's gonna suck for him. So let's see what's gonna happen. So we got Stuart Baylor Jr. talking about his team, which is gonna be interesting at the league. I mean, it's gonna add a whole other dynamic. It's great to see more money and more teams. Well, we think more money. The illusion of more money.
Right. Just to have more variety out there. It's cool. I love when I see more rigs, more teams, more promotions out there. I mean, it shows that the racing industry is thriving.
There we go. Right now, we're working with a trailer
that.
company as our title sponsor. I do remember seeing that. I think that's from Facebook or maybe Twitter or something like that.
I wrote it. I think I read it on like Dirt Rider or something.
Okay.
Like that, yeah.
So one of them social things on the internets.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think a big thing is Russell Bobbitt being back on KTM now.
Woo!
I know. I was like, maybe that's because of the whole Grant Baylor thing. Maybe he was going to be on the Husky team.
Maybe.
And with Grant pulling out, they just said, okay, Russell, come back to KTM. Maybe that's been in the works for a long time. Absolutely no idea. But honestly, that's awesome. Russell Bobbitt's a great rider. He's a great supporter of the team that he's on. Like he's the kind of rider you want to have because he's good with the fans, good at the races, and he knows how to represent the brand.
Wasn't he on
well.
Husqvarna?
Yes.
Yeah,
he broke his kneecap at the first National Enduro
right.
last year.
And
so.
I think he came. It's kind of funny because to me, it looked like Russell chose to come back to KTM, and then they put DeLong right up in there because DeLong winning the Enduro and stuff like that. Champion and his brother winning the amateur. Yeah. Craig just owning it and everything. Two brothers running the field.
I'm surprised
rolled up in there
that Craig doesn't have a little bit more of some form of a formulated support program
like the Stu brothers. I mean, you
knew that Grant was factory supported by KTM, though he was not.
But everybody just sees Craig on the track. No one sees Craig. To me, it's just like, man, that Craig is fast. But then right when he gets on the track, that's where it ends. It's not like Craig's fast. He's going to be at the KTM trailer. Whenever I'm at GNCC, he's always. I mean, him and his brother camp together, but I never see his bike with anyone. Really,
when we were there at Big Buck, it was under the Husky tent.
Right.
So I think he is kind of that factory supported.
He wears the shirts. He wears the sponsors. Yeah.
But yeah, there's no. It doesn't.
There's no official statement like on paper. This is
or
him.
It's not even. It just doesn't. They don't even act like it. That's what it is. I guess.
But
it'd be cool to see that because I believe he deserves something of that sort.
Yeah, DeLong's a great guy. I talked to him a whole lot and stuff. He's just a well polite guy and stuff, and a phenomenal racer. I got to actually at the Husqvarna Ride Day. I got that on GoPro. I got to race with him and stuff.
Andrew.
Yeah, I got to race with Andrew and everything.
How was that?
We were on. I think I was on a 150 and he was on a 125, and I was giving the 150 everything I had, and I was he's just ridiculously fast.
What do you think about Justin Morrison's pro debut in 2015? So he's gonna be moving up from one of the amateur classes. Was he in yours?
Oh, Justin. That is Justin Morrison. No, Justin.
We know.
Justin is Justin's a open expert guy, top 3 easy.
Okay.
Like great guy, rides a 450 Suzuki, and no, me and Justin ride together all the time, always pushing each other and stuff, giving each other great ideas and
little pats on the butt.
Nice, buddy. Yeah, exactly. And I raced with him many times, whole shot on me for days, man. He was. And Justin, I think if you train as hard as you do and you ride as much as you want to ride and stuff, it's just a matter of time before you really get up into that pro standpoint. It's a huge gap, but if you just give the work and what you put into it, you'll get out of it.
Bam.
Yep.
Words from Dillon Green.
Exactly.
It's our new segment here on Seat Time. Words by Dillon Green.
I didn't think it was like I didn't think it was going to be as hard as it was.
Andy's a real ginger.
Oh, he straight up is. Yeah, he straight up is.
Man, that's cool. We need more gingers to be watching this show. Yeah. Bolton is typically our resident ginger. So if anybody's out there, make sure you tweet Jared Bolton and give him shit for not being in the chat room. That's okay. We got our new ginger, Mr. Justin Morrison.
Yeah,
I'm all right with that.
Yeah,
gingerbread.
I think if you because you went out to some of the Torns and stuff, haven't you?
Well, I've actually never made it.
He was at the Enduro. He was his first Enduro actually ever.
Nice. How did he do?
Actually pretty good. He did pretty good. He's not really used to the tight woods and stuff like that.
It was
I heard I didn't get to ride the rest of it, but
It was
the
tight.
last sections were really, really tight. So I think I think he finished like top 5 or something like that. He didn't
Hell
do,
yeah.
he didn't do bad at all.
I got top 20. I got 20th. I was so stoked on that.
Can I ask out of?
Oh, more than 20.
Okay, cool. That's all I'm asking. That's
Yeah,
it.
let's
See-
bring it up. T-Sec results, bitches.
Oh,
Love
man.
playing with this cock Chester. No, there was, what? I don't know, 100, 150.
Well, it was.
Like,
Well,
I got second or third in the Open A class,
yeah,
and then 20th overall.
yeah. There he is. 35 overall, 10th in my class. There you go. Yeah.
So I beat him.
He said it, not me.
Justin, you're gonna have to work. If I'm beating you in a race, you need to work a
It was
lot
his
harder.
First one though. It was his first one.
No excuses. If you're getting beat by this guy,
Yeah.
you need to go faster. Your throttle goes a lot further back than mine does.
Sorry,
I
man.
promise.
I'm sorry. I can't say anything about that.
Numbers, bro. It's a numbers game.
Just
My numbers are
text
better right
back.
now.
Come out to a torn race. That's all you have to say.
No.
A lot more out there.
I am such a better tight woods racer than I am open
Oh,
racer.
dude, put him
Yeah.
out in the open, man. That
No.
450, he lets
Yeah.
it go.
I've only done well at one TCCRA, and it was the one that was a little bit more like woodsy, like where I could kind of like get my flow in the woods and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
where everybody's like, well, this sucks.
Yeah,
like
they're
me.
I want to be in the open, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I like the woods, man.
No,
Give me
dude.
some single track, bitches.
No, I'm just like,
But hey.
I'm just opening it up. Let me just let it go.
Let it go, let it go.
No, please don't.
Is Disney gonna sue us over that?
Yeah, for only
So-
if you go more than 30 seconds.
Right, that's true. Well, I never do that.
Yeah.
Has slime found you guys? I don't know if that he means what you put in your
SLM.
tires,
Or is that SLM?
or bad. I'm not going gingerbread. I'm not-
March 7th and 8th? He called you out,
I'm
man.
not going.
He called you
He's
out.
gonna be in the real man's class, and I'm gonna be in the wussy woman's A class.
My mom could beat you, bro.
No, well, let's not get crazy.
Second place in that women's expert race.
Well, I can't even race the woman's expert race. I mean, maybe if I tuck it and like duct tape it, can I race? Will they let me race it?
He's like, what the?
We were talking about National Enduros.
Yeah,
They start
yeah.
up February 1st, Sumter, South Carolina. It's going to be interesting. Charlie Mullins coming back from injury. Is he going to be healthy? Is he going to be racing?
Right.
Is he going to be healthy? No idea. It sounds like Nick Farringer is 4, 5, 6 months. Easy.
It's going to cover up some of it.
So, I mean, that's half the year right there,
That's-
unfortunately.
But that's just like that's not even rehab.
Right.
That's like you.
Right.
No, none of these guys come back until they're 100%, safety reasons. But I mean, you got Josh Strang on the 350 coming out hard.
Yeah,
So-
it's going to be awesome. I think Josh Strang's going to do really, really, really well.
But
I'm
you
hoping
got-
that Jesse Grome, with the more stability from being kind of behind a factory
Yep.
team, that's gonna really that support's gonna help him a lot. Andrew DeLong coming back with the
Yeah, you
confidence now
can't-
as the
yeah.
national enduro champion.
He's got the momentum right now.
Russell Bobbitt being healthy.
KTM back on his roots and everything.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of guys that could do really, really good.
Yep.
And then we're gonna have that, and then we have GNCC Bike Week. So what is that? Endurocross starts March 6th, and then that Tuesday or whatever is when we have GNCC start.
If you guys have ever
buddy.
been out to the first GNCC ever during Bike Week, it's a sight you'll never see because I got to experience kind of the whole thing. I got to go to the first race. I got to go to the Daytona race and stuff when it was pouring down rain. I sat through that, man. It was awesome. And then
Supercross.
just the amount of bikes. I'm literally
flipping end over end.
Well, I'm just saying in the streets. It's it's 4 bikes to 1 car. It's insane and beautiful.
We
And
got
then-
invited this year to come out and spend some time with some friends and their family, and then my wife goes, "Wait a minute, that's Nora's birthday weekend," and I was like,
Yep, and that's how quickly you don't get to go.
"Yep," especially because it's her first birthday.
Oh man, yeah, you
So,
got to be there.
the family's got to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be wherever her first birthday is, but it would be different if it was like her 5th or 6th or something. Then we could maybe have
It's all the same
her
after
birthday
that.
day.
Yeah, it's all
somewhere
the same.
else. But yeah, it's like
But the cool thing about it is because the first race in GCC, everyone's got their new stuff, new sponsors, new
Right.
bikes. It's a huge promotional sell point for them, and and everybody's guessing who's gonna do what. And they changed it to this mud mucker, but at the other one they had this like 2-mile sand grass track they had for everybody to practice on Saturday. It's the only race you get to practice on Saturday, and I mean, to see these guys, and I got to get to ride with them and see what they do. I mean, you got all the mechanics out there just doing dials, clicking everything. You got all these guys burning in a 2-mile grass track. It's awesome to see them ride. Yeah,
I bet.
Yeah,
I bet. Well, it's not going to happen for me.
No.
So that sucks.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But, dude, so before we kind of close it up, one of the things that we launched over the holidays was our Kurt Caselli tribute from this past year, the 89th ISDE that just happened. Obviously, the junior trophy team winning the junior trophy cup at the ISDE. First time that's happened since 2006 when it was with Kurt Caselli. And of course, the world trophy team getting second place.
Yeah,
really looking for the win.
Great job, guys.
But no, seriously, great job. So, Jonty Edmonds from Enduro 21 reached out after the TKO photo epic that we did and wanted to know if we wanted to kind of collaborate, because obviously I wasn't over there, I couldn't take pictures. So he sent us some pictures and we kind of put together that photo epic. So if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely go to the website, check that out. I mean, it's as of right now, it's the first post. It's just for Kurt Caselli, 89th ISDE Team USA,
and Caleb Russell being top American.
Yeah, Taylor Robert wanted it bad. Unfortunately, he had that really bad day where he had to go work on his bike.
Yeah,
so.
He got sand. I mean, every single one. All I kept hearing about was what bike was quitting on him.
Yep.
Because they said it was worse than beach sand.
Yeah.
It was literally like put a fan and flour in the fan and just shoot it right into a filter.
Yep.
And that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I'm truly surprised Caleb at that type of terrain in that kind of environment that he got overall American. I would truly believe it would have been like Brown or Robert, like you said, to do that well, because I mean he's woods, man. He's all woods guy, and Robert and Brown are kind of that more open work style stuff.
Well, I think that's that confidence that we were talking about, where you were saying that Caleb Russell knew that he could win a GNCC on a 150.
Yeah,
Caleb Russell went to the ISDE knowing that
mentally,
he's all mental. He had the ability to overall.
Yep,
and he did.
Yeah, he truly did. And then I see somebody asked who the next young guns are in GNCC. Braxton is a super fast kid coming up. Cole, I think Cole's got a little bit more ways to go. I do believe that. But I'm going to talk even younger about the 250A guys, because 250A class is the class that is the up-and-coming class. A lot of the factory teams watch the 250A class even before the Open A class.
Okay, so Open A is probably guys going up into...
Open A is just a lot of like... they've already kind of got their sponsors set. They're just waiting on that last year. It's kind of like a 450A and Loretta's.
Right.
Right now they're just putting one more year in before the nationals come in. The 250A is kind of their year of watching, and you got guys like Austin Lee coming in, and you got these two brothers that are coming in. I think. I forget. Austin Lee is won the 250A class championship.
Yeah, Austin Lee is going to be wearing fly.
Austin Lee will be wearing fly.
Mike Witkowski.
Yeah, Mike Witkowski. I get to say I beat both those guys in a race before. Yeah, but other races they destroyed me. And so the Witkowski.
One time I was better than you.
Yeah, the Witkowski brothers. They're both in the 250A class, and Witkowski and Austin Lee were always battling for top amateur. Like after Bollinger left that scene. Those two really stepped into the shoes of that. Just ridiculously fast kids. I mean, they're hands down they're going somewhere.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's some up-and-comers. Do you think the USA will start an all-around-the-states cross-country organization, or thoughts? Absolutely not. They won't. Combination East-West Coast works and go... like a combination of works and GNCC. Well, a combination of works and GNCC will never happen because they're two competing. Yeah. They're two competing organizations. So.
Justin was asking. He came to me one time. He's like, I wonder if they would put in like one big series that hit around the country one time, where it takes all like these West Coast riders and the East Coast riders and put them together in one series and how that would work out.
The big problem with that is logistics, because
he said the same thing, dates wise.
It's getting your East Coast riders west, and it's getting your West Coast riders east.
Yep.
Big Sky was supposed to be the official end of the year national off-road championship. Charlie Mullins won it in 2013. But the problem is that the next year, when it came for 2014, is Joe Miller and his partner. Both of them had been doing Big Sky for like 5 or 6 years, and it was literally them and a little tiny team of friends. So a lot of hours put into that race. And unfortunately, like, it just got in the way of real life.
A lot of things, yeah.
And it was one of those situations where I know that, like, personally, there were a couple of the guys where their work was like, hey, we've got plans for you, and we're not being able to fulfill those plans. So if we need to work something out, tell me now. And that's kind of like a wake up call. Like,
I mean, I told Justin that would be like the coolest thing ever. It was
awesome being at Big Sky. The one year they had that national championship. Steven actually was able to edit the recap video for that year. It was really, really awesome. And if they could, it was terrain. It was like Colorado, but it was even higher in elevation, so it was less breathing, like less ability to breathe.
And the bikes got to work.
So it was just crazy. Yeah. But
I also told Justin, I mean, the great thing about that is because Russell has gone over to the work side of things sometimes, and he can't even break the top 5. And then talking about on Caselli and stuff, Caselli and Strang also going to the work side. He won, I think. I don't even think he won one. Strang over
Strang?
on the work side. It's such a different style of riding. And Caselli would come over, and he was like the best. He was the best all around rider, and he would barely win, or he didn't even win. I think
the only thing that sucks is that when Caselli came over to GNCC, and it was like kind of like racing GNCCs, he wasn't at his prime yet.
Right.
That's the only, like, I think Caselli would have been that one rider who could, like, just say, all right, I'm going to go race this and win. I'm going to go race this and win. Like, but I don't think a lot of our other guys could do that. I mean, you should have seen how pissed. I mean, just genuinely wanting to throw shit Caleb Russell was at the TKO and at the Enduro Cross because of how poorly he performed for himself.
Right.
But if you saw how well he actually did just as a spectator watching, you would have never known.
You wouldn't have thought it was a problem.
It's just because, like, everybody else, it's such a specialized thing. Like, since they practice that style of riding, that style of racing so much, they are just that next step better.
And then you take them out of that.
And it would be awesome to say, hey, let's take these 3 races from the GNCC, these 3 races from the Works, these 3, and say, all right, these are going to be points paying. And do Enduro Cross and figure it out, National Hare and Hound, and say, all right, there's going to be 6 races. We're going to do 1 from each series. So that way everybody tries to make this one round at each of these and come up with overall the end of the year, then the points from that maybe, but it's still logistically it's just so damn expensive.
You would have to actually tell all the series to stop, and then we'll just have one big race one year because they'd all be competing for time and space and stuff like that.
We just now that the AMA and GNCC have made up and they're back together and they're best
finally
friends again, that I think we're going to see another national off-road championship again soon. I don't know that it's going to be on the East Coast. I honestly don't hope it's not. I hope it's kind of a random weird place that's not really a works race. It's not really a
so everybody GNCC. Doesn't have a
there's no real advantage. It's kind of like everybody's just coming out of nowhere.
I got the privilege to ride against Bobby Garrison. Remember when he was in TCRA? That was like a once in a lifetime opportunity to race against him, and he has taught me without him even teaching me, just being able to race against him was a huge thing. And he told me, he's like, the first races he came into TCRA or Toro, he's like, y'all have trees. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I don't race in trees.
Ever.
He's like, I've never worn hand guards for trees. I wear them for rocks. And I hadn't been to Cali yet, so I didn't know what he was talking about. When I went to Cali, I was like, it's like shrubs out here. Your tree is a shrub. And he said, y'all need more or like y'all could have your own series on a TV and stuff like that. It's this big. They just don't give you that much of a like like
recognition.
recognition.
That
is what I'm
unfortunately
looking for.
all comes down, and this is something. Oh God, we could talk for another 30 minutes on this. I feel that the Texas organizations do a horrible job promoting themselves
Yeah.
internally and externally as a
to the
series.
public. It's just kind of like you know everybody.
I'm not going to try to ruffle any feathers, but it could be done a lot better.
Right.
And it could be publicized a lot better, and it could be for more than just the X amount of racers that come every weekend to the event.
They like. I'm kind of with you on that. They kind of depend on the same 400 or 300, 200 that are always there every weekend.
Yeah.
Every year, every weekend.
So
and Garrison said when he went over to GNCC, he did horrible. He said I wasn't prepared. It's a completely different style, and it's not what He's like, it's not what I was trained to do.
Yeah, and what's even more fun is if Bobby Garrison were to go do an enduro in West Texas, he would see what he thinks is the exact same shrubs that he's used to bashing through with his little
Oh,
guard,
dude, he would destroy
and it would rip him off his bike.
Yeah.
Because those mesquite trees,
Don't move.
trees, they look like shrubs, but they don't move.
Yeah.
They rip you the F off of your bike.
Did you go to the one in West Texas?
Dude, I've been racing T6 since
San
I lived here,
Angelo,
so-
the one past San
Not
Angelo?
this year. I haven't.
Oh, I went to that one.
Was
Yeah.
it fun?
Oh my gosh, yes. It was amazing. But like you said, those shrubs, they have like sand or rocks where the root is, so you can't run over them. Don't run over them. I went over them. It was like a lip. Bro, I was like, what? Like, and almost hit a deer twice.
Nice.
Allie almost did too.
It's gonna be cool. Talking about Texas,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a national enduro.
Yes.
Like an hour from the Metroplex.
Dude, 30 minutes from my house.
And you know what? I haven't seen anything yet. I haven't seen any local promotions about that. What the fuck?
It's coming up quick. This like
I know,
2015 is
it's
gonna start.
3 months.
And I told DeLong that when I was talking to him, I was like, dude, it's like 30 minutes from my house. He's like, really? I was like, yeah. He's like, I might think about coming down early. I was like,
Well, what's
yeah.
funny is you won't really be able to ride any of it because it's all private land,
Right, but
or
I mean,
city property.
I was like, dude, we take him to Munster and he'd get
oh
that
yeah,
down.
oh
Like,
he would have so much fun.
dude, all those
Like,
guys
holy
would.
crap, yeah.
That was.
I might have to take off if you guys. I'm not saying it publicly because
Dude, I don't know if he
I might
would.
be sick that day.
Yeah,
though.
I don't know if he would, but because he might come down with Kirkpatrick or some stuff like that. So.
That would be wicked.
Yeah.
Well, cool. We've talked our asses off.
Yeah, it's been a great
night.
night.
It has. We've actually done some really good talking, I would imagine. I've done some good vodka drinking. We've decided that Steven can't have vodka drinks anymore in the studio because he chooses to spill them on things.
He's dealing with all the electronics, man.
Well, he did. Well, we've learned that the hard way.
man.
He's got to have a sippy cup.
Dude, you're the only one working. You're the only one working with money.
We're gonna have we got seat time onesies, so we're gonna have seat time sippy cups and seat time. We got to do new pint glasses for next year, for that. So
They have to be pint glasses.
this is a proper pint.
Not the one that's on the picture. You gotta have that picture of like the old time pint that you get in like the Irish pubs.
Bro, that's called a stein.
Get the Stein.
That's not a pint.
It's way more notable than that.
Do you know what?
little
Do you know?
glass.
Okay, so a pint glass,
Yeah.
like a pint glass,
Yeah.
which is not this, gets you 16. It holds 16 ounces of fluid.
Yep.
Right. But if you pour a beer, you get head. So your actual fluid content is less than 16 ounces.
Okay.
Why? Everyone asks, are seat time pint glasses so large? It's a 20-ounce glass because if you pour a proper pint of beer, it is 16 ounces of fluid with 4 ounces of head.
He's done the math. He's done
Proper
the
pint,
math.
buddy. Seat time. We're not just a bunch of jokers that drink. We're a bunch of serious
You won't hit the
drinkers.
10-foot jump, but you're over here and you did the absolute math for alcohol consumption. He knows the percentages on
Would
this.
your dad be proud?
Oh my gosh, everyone's proud right
Yay!
now. If that doesn't blow the boards up, I'm surprised. Like he's talked to himself in the mirror, knowing this conversation's gonna come up.
I talk to myself in the mirror regardless of the conversation coming up.
God.
So it's okay. But no, so if any of you guys seriously have not checked out the photo epics, please go do that. I can only say that, yes, we want you to, one, enjoy them, but two, we would like you to tell us what you think. There are talks of things that could happen in the future of us possibly doing more of those actual events where it's not your typical slideshow, it's not your typical, magazine type pictures that you're going to see. Like, we will go out there and do these kind of specific photo epics at events. So obviously we need you guys to support us, what we've done so far, so that we can show numbers to other people out there, possible supporters, to make that kind of stuff happen. So please do that. Definitely go check that out. And of course, regardless of all that other BS that goes along with all that kind of crap, go support Kirk Caselli Foundation.
Yep.
Go check out the photo epic we did, and the whole reason is at the very bottom and throughout it, there are links to the Kirk Caselli Foundation and ways to go support off-road and the safety of our riders. So,
that's
rebel enough.
That
right
was
there. That was rebel enough. So bringing it in, Dillon Green, thank you very much for being on the show. Great time, I have to say. So episode 152, last of 2014.
I appreciate you putting me in on the
right?
last.
That was a lot of fun.
Time.
I'm very, very, very thankful that
Saving
you came
the best
over.
for last.
Hey-o! Suck it.
Sucking everybody that's been on here. I don't care if it's been all these legends. I did it.
Yeah. Meow.
Yeah.
Meow. Well, you've done a really good job because we didn't have any guests. Like, you and I, strangely enough, did a shit ton of talking.
Dude, when it clicks, man.
Okay, sorry. Wrong kind of click. Yeah. Wrong kind of click. I see. Allie, don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't get jealous.
It's okay.
So I think it's going to be about 2 weeks. We're going to take another 2-week break. Obviously, just kind of let some of this stuff fish out. People are going to start riding and start getting ready for that first National Enduro. We'll probably come in with Jason Wygant, actually, and start talking about what he thinks about some of the GNCC stuff that's going to be coming up. So that'll be really cool. Hopefully I can solidify that date with him because he's so damn busy. And get him on the show again.
I would think he is busy.
He is. He makes a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing what he does.
Right now we're just waiting on A1 to start.
I know. That's going to be fun this weekend. It's going to be fun this weekend.
Dude, it's going to be crazy.
We need more quickies. Don't we all?
I don't know.
We all?
I don't know what he means by that. Yeah.
Awesome.
He's
so
putting it out there.
Seattime.co is the website. That is where you can find out more about us. Of course, we are on Facebook. It's facebook.com/seattime. We are on Twitter @seattime_co. Change it up. Make you guys think a little bit more. And yes, we are on Instagram. It is regular old Seat Time. A little bit more simpler for y'all. Of course, we're on YouTube. Best thing to do, subscribe there. So when all the archives come up or we upload some of our fun videos, maybe quickies since we don't do them live, you will then be alerted to them. Remember, subscribe with the email subscription. That way you just get emailed and you can watch it. I don't have to post shit and y'all just go, I love amazing things when they show up for me.
Yeah,
it's
less
easy.
work for you.
Less work for me and less work for you too. I mean, hey, it's just there. Of course, huge thanks to Fly Racing. You can check them out at flyracing.com, Stillwell Performance, stillwellperformance.com, and Fast Company, which is fastco.com, because they as well like to change things up and make you think a little bit more than you need to sometimes. So That's it. No highlight show about 2014. Every show was awesome. We had fun doing all of it. If you want to watch some of them, we would obviously really appreciate that. Tell all your friends about us. We'll be back 2015. We've got some new sponsors, new things going on. But Fly Racing, they'll be back. Because they're badass.
Always.
And we're going to have a good time. Dillon?
Yep. Thanks, man.
Thank you. Everybody else, always enjoy a pint full of awesome. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace.
See ya.